This conference will now be recorded.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, so let's start. Right. So yesterday we were seeing mainly on the introductory mode, like an introduction of the course and what we are planning and all. So today we'll be continuing from there. Yesterday we saw the introduction why the chaos engineering it rose from what it is now and how what we observed and all those stuff. Today, so what we will mainly do is we will try to understand more sort of little in action like what we generally do in chaos engineering. Okay, so for that, let me open AWS first. Okay, so for that, what we will do is we will open AWS and we'll give a small overview for those who are new to AWS cloud. And as I said, the whole course we won't be doing on AWS cloud, but a small section, like or a small part, we will be using cloud so that you get an idea. And it's more sort of like whatever repetitive things. Like for example, once you create your instance, whether and it's if the instance is let's say Ubuntu or Windows. Now, whether the instance is on cloud or on-prem, it doesn't matter. Okay, so whatever steps after that comes is the the platform independent, we can say. So till that step, we'll try to understand like those which are cloud dependent. Okay, so those things we will try to understand. So for that, I will give a quick. So these things we will be covering again in the upcoming sessions. But this is again a demo session, so I wanted to bring this up, and we will again take this cloud in detail later on while we have the sessions. So I'm just logging into my AWS account. Right. So, those who are new to AWS, basically, AWS provides a free trial account for 1 month. So you can use that to check it out. So currently, I'll just go through AWS and in a very high level way. Later on in the course, we will see it in detail. So when you land onto the AWS for the first time, you will land onto this dashboard, okay? And this recently visited and all will be empty for you initially, okay? So now what you need to do is you need to search for EC2. Basically, EC2 is the instances we call it, or we can say machines on AWS. Now, when I say machines, for those who are new to cloud or like let's say, what do we mean by cloud? Do we have some physical machines or what do you think about cloud? Anyone? Like what do you understand from cloud? Anyone? Let's say I have on-prem, basically we call it on-premise or and cloud. So what do we think? Like, or what's the major difference between both? Anyone? I'm audible, right, everyone?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah, just give a try. Let it be wrong, not a problem. We are all here to learn, okay? So just give it a try. If at all, if like anyways, it's not an interview and all, okay? So we will just share our knowledge with each other and anyway, yeah. So let's go with first with the on-prem or cloud. Anyone you can pick, your choice.
Audible.
Yeah, yeah, yes, yes. Go ahead.
I feel like on-prem, like we are maintaining the servers, so cloud will be maintain the server and we are using the servers and we are paying for it. This kind
Okay.
of servers where we can
Yeah.
utilize the servers and we
Mhm.
can pay for a particular time of a period and then if we don't want, we don't want to pay. If on-premises means we need to maintain the all the service.
Right, exactly. So yeah, so those are the characteristics of cloud. So, but to say it in simple way, okay, like what is this on-prem and cloud? So let's say I am like in at my home, I have a laptop, okay, or a computer. Now, what I can do is I can convert this PC into a server, okay, and this system becomes my on-prem server. Because it is at in my home, I control the server, I do everything, so it's on my own, like I can say in my locality, okay. Now cloud is similar thing. What they will have multiple PCs, all managed by, let's say, now since I'm saying AWS, it will be managed by Amazon. And what I do is, as a customer, okay, I access these machines as per my need, okay, and I pay them for what, pay them for this hardware and the maintenance behind that. Like for example, if I am maintaining, I am buying a PC, then if you see, like for example, there are different maintenance charges which will come, right? The network charges, because it has to be connected to a 24/7 network, you have to maintain that, power backup should be there, proper air, like air conditioning and all those, so all those charges you will have to bear, right? Similarly, what Amazon will do is it will also do all this for you, and what it will do is it will maintain. And some farms, we call it server farms, okay, or server farms, or we call it like host zones, right, where they keep these servers, okay. Now, so the thing for which we pay to the cloud is for this maintenance and this hardware. Okay. So cloud is also a physical machine. Okay. So you don't need to confuse it with something like it is like in air. No, it's these are also physical machines connected to internet. Only thing is now, see, for example, now if I want to access this laptop, okay, I have a screen, right? Now let's say I want to access only the memory and storage and only the processing. Do I need a screen for that? Like I just need its hardware. Okay, I don't need like I don't need to see anything. Okay, I just need its memory. I need its CPU. I need its storage. So do I need a screen then?
So we can put it in a simple word that our phone storage and TV storage would be the best example I
Hmm.
think so.
So basically, what here happens is they have a lot of CPUs sitting there. Okay, we can call it CPUs, or generally it's called servers. Okay, servers sitting there. And now based on your requirement, like if I need two CPUs, if I need three CPUs, if I need four CPUs, I pay more. Okay. Now the cloud but has little bit more functionalities than normal on-prem servers. The thing is they divide the CPUs also into further parts. Like you can, for example, if I have one CPU, I can if that one CPU is 4 cores, let's say, I can use 1 core of that. Even that level of discretion this cloud provides us. Okay, so based on that, my cost I can reduce because I am using very less as per my need, and I can switch it off whenever not required. that like I can give it back. So it's more sort of rented thing, right? So when I need it, I use it, and when my use is done, I give it back. So the cost is also limited when it comes to cloud. Okay, but when it comes to on-prem, what happens is you bought a hardware, you're maintaining it, so all this cost is upfront, right? And you're paying it continuously. Like for example, I bought a CPU, okay, and when I bought the CPU, I was using 100% of that, okay, but with the time I found out that I'm using only 20%, so 80% is waste, right? Because I'm not using it. But if I was on cloud, okay, what I would have done, I would have reduced my CPU 100% to 20 percentage, and I would have paid only for the 20%. So that's a good thing about cloud. But here in on-prem, what happens? I bought a like I spend a lot on my hardware and all, and I cannot go back with that, right? Like I have already spent for that. So the cloud makes the costing very flexible. Okay. But do you think cloud is cheaper? What do you think? Price wise?
It depends on the usage.
Yeah, okay. Usage. Yeah, for example, now let's say I'm comparing Apple to Apple. Okay. So when I say Apple to Apple means, let's say here also CPU, I have one core, let's say 4 GB RAM, 500 GB disk. Okay. Similarly, here also one core, 4 GB RAM, 500 GB disk. And let's say both are running for 365 days. Which do you think will be costly?
Seems to be cloud.
Yes, cloud will be costly. Okay. So the notion behind that the cloud is cheaper comes from not from the cost, okay, but how you're optimizing the usage. Like for example, if I run it for 365 days both, then cloud is very costly. Okay. Like for example, if this is $50, the cloud will come around, let's say, $150. It will be very, very high, okay, comparatively. But the optimizations come for an application which is not running for 365 days. Like for example, now here, let's say I have an application which is not running for 365 days. Let's say it's running only 50 days. Okay. But what happens here is I buy the hardware, I buy everything, and it has to be, it's more sort of being used 365 days, right? So I'm spending $50. But if it is only used for 50 days, if you see, the cloud cost will come only some $20 or something like that. Okay, so the cloud has now come down because the usage, like the continuous usage or the resource usage, is not very steady. Okay, it's like changing with the time. Okay, and so in those cases, cloud is very good. And the other thing is, cloud is very flexible in terms of things like auto scaling. Okay, the scaling properties of cloud is good. Then you have like multiple zones, right, which makes the disaster recovery also very like you can create multiple clusters and back up your data in multiple zones and that way it becomes easier. So there are different functionalities also which cloud gives. Okay, that's why the cloud is increasing day by day, not because it is cheap. Okay, because there are a lot of options in cloud which if you use properly you can optimize the cost. Okay, and also leverage the good things behind cloud. Any questions, anyone, related to cloud, like on-prem and cloud? Anyone? Any doubts?
Hi Vishnu, this is Ayushi. I have a doubt. So when you
Yeah.
said that we can, so I mean, suppose CPU has 4 cores and then we can divide those cores also. So
Yeah.
do we have any technical term for that one particular core, or we say it core only?
We say it weak core generally. So I will show you that. Okay. So when we say weak core, it's basically cloud terminology for cores. Okay. Now what happens is, let's say I have a 4 core machine. I can divide it 1, 2, 3, 4 only. I cannot say 1.5. Okay, that is not there generally. Okay, it's like 1, 2, 3, or 4 in that way. So it's like it's in series. And what we do when it comes to pods, like in the Kubernetes world, we have something called millicores that we will see. Okay, when we go to Kubernetes, that time we will see what are millicores. Millicores is nothing but simple. If you have one core, you divide that one core into 1,000, like it will be 1,000 millicores. Okay, and then each pod, like pods, when we speak about pods, pods will get like some out of that. Okay, so that we will see when we go to Kubernetes. But in cloud, it's simple. We call it vCore.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions, anyone? Right. So for now, you should have a clear understanding that if I mean cloud, still there are machines. Okay, because why I'm stressing this is even in interviews I have seen. Okay, like people getting confused. Like when we say cloud, they feel something else. Okay, but it's simple. Okay, these are machines sitting somewhere. Okay, like in Mumbai, like in Pune, or like in Chennai, like in some state, some zones they have, right? And they will have a specific setup where they all the servers will be sitting like in a server farm. Okay, and they are maintaining it, and from there we rent it out using cloud. Okay, so that's what we are doing now. So if you see this AWS cloud, in that EC2 is what the name in AWS it is called. Okay, EC2 instance means these are the machines which are sitting somewhere. Okay, now how do I decide where that machine is sitting from the this location which I've chosen here, right? See, there are multiple locations here which I can choose. We call it zones. US East, Ohio, West, Asia Pacific, Mumbai. So see, if you see, we have Mumbai, then in Osaka, Seoul, different zones. Okay, so we have this. So we have to choose that which location I want to create that machine. So I chose Mumbai. Okay. Now, why is the location important for a machine? Anyone? Can I create a machine in any location, or is there any strategy behind that? Choosing a machine at some location.
Network latency.
Exactly. Okay. So if you're from performance engineering or performance testing teams, you will know clearly. Because if a user is very far from the machine, where the machine is located or the server is located, I will use the word server now onwards. Okay. Let's say it's in Mumbai, and your user is sitting in US. He will feel one sort of like something called a network latency. Okay, because your data has to travel from here to here, so there will be a latency there. So the best thing is I have to deliver this customer, the server has to be in US. Okay, so generally businesses do that, so that's why you have the concepts like CDN and all. We will see that later on, but yeah, so what we do is, if you have a customer from US, like let's say you have a business, and you are a business where the customers are mainly from US only. Okay, so you keep your server in US, you don't keep it in India or Mumbai. Okay, but let's say you have a business which is like spread over the globe, like your customers are from multiple zones. Okay, and so in those cases, what you do is you keep servers in multiple locations, and you deliver your data from the nearest location to that user using techniques like CDN, load balancer, and all. We will see that. Okay. Anyways, coming back to zone. So I have chosen the Mumbai zone, and you need to search EC2. EC2 is a name for the machines. We can say compute engines or virtual servers on AWS. Okay, so just type EC2 and just click on this EC2 here. My screen is visible, right, for to everyone?
Yes.
Yeah. And if my voice sometimes goes off or something because my network is little jittery today. Yeah. Okay. So once you are here, what we need to do is just scroll down and click on launch instance. Okay. Now this I'm showing it for only people who have a free trial account created. If at all you don't have also, you can ignore this. Okay, because as I said, cloud we will not continue for very long. This is for just your learning. Okay, so if you don't want to do a hands-on also, that's pretty fine. You can just use it in your project. That is enough. Uh, yeah, so just because everything is paid on cloud. Okay, so easy to whatever I'm creating. Okay, I will show you that. Okay, so so you'll come to this page, okay, where you're creating an EC2. So similar to any machine. So if you say any machine, what all, like let's say I have this laptop here. If I say this laptop, what all properties will I call out of this laptop? Like when let's say I'm going to buy a laptop, what all I will look for? Anyone?
CPUs, memory,
Correct. CPU, memory, storage. Anything else related to software? Anything?
the Windows platform or the Linux platform we want to use.
Correct, correct. So the operating system, all those, right? So same way we are choosing those things here. Okay, we want an instance from AWS, so we are letting AWS know what type of instance we need, what operating system it has to be, and what CPU I want, what RAM I want, what storage I want. Okay, the disk. So those things is what we are filling. So for now, first we need to give a name to that instance because you can create multiple instances, so you need a name, right? So let's say I give chaos demo, and I will quickly, what I will choose is I will choose an Ubuntu instance. Now, why I choose Ubuntu instance is Ubuntu is free. If you choose Windows, you have to pay for that also. Okay. So we choose an Ubuntu image, we call it a machine image. Okay. Basically, it's an Ubuntu OS. Okay. Then the machine type. Basically, machine type is where you choose the CPU and RAM. Okay. So there are different types of machines. The instance type with the name like the T2 micro, T2 nano, T2 small, T2 medium. So if you compare, let's say T2 nano with T2 micro, what are you seeing the difference? And like, are you able to see the difference? T2 nano and T2 micro, what is the difference? Is which is coming in just in your screen?
The difference in memory,
Correct, correct. So the memory is different. Okay, so here the RAM is 0.5 GB. Here the RAM is 1 GB. So if I scroll down further, see here the RAM is 2 GB. The CPU is still the same. Okay, and if I scroll down 4 GB, is the RAM. Now the CPU also increased in T2 medium. Now the main thing, but what you need to observe is there anything else also changing here between these two machines, which is very critical?
the price. The price has changed.
Exactly, the price, right? See, here it is 0.006, like for Linux, okay? Let's say Linux. So 0.006 is the US dollars per hour is a charge for this machine. Now, if you come down to the T2 micro, where the only the memory has increased, only the RAM, okay? The price it is showing is 0.01, almost double, right? Almost double the price. So let's say you are running this T2 Nano for 1 year. This T2 micro, you can run it for only half a year with the same price. Okay, so you need to choose a correct machine for your purpose as per the cost and also what's the requirement. Okay, so let's say I choose for in our case, let's say I go like mine is a paid account, so I can use so I will use, let's say, T2 medium, which is 2 core and 4 GB memory. Okay, and yeah, then we need to give a key pair. Basically this is a this is more sort of like it's for logging into this machine. Okay, I will show you that. Just click create new key pair, and for now I will use ppk because I am comfortable with that. With pem also you can do. Okay, I'm just giving ppk for now and just click create key pair. Okay, I need to give a name also, so I'll just give a name. So this we will be using. Okay, I will show you how we use it. So that key pair gets downloaded. See, chaos demo1.ppk. Okay. So now just scroll down, and here just to select this HTTP and HTTPS. Okay. Because we need to open that. Generally, whenever we create an instance, we select these two options. Okay. Also SSH. SSH is very important. So that also we allow. Basically, these are some firewall rules which we are choosing. Okay. And if you scroll down, here comes the disk. Like how much GB of disk you need. I will keep like let's say 10 GB. Anyways, it's just a demo we are using, right? So I will just use 10. Okay. And rest is like you can choose again different types of disks are there like SSD, GP3, GP2, IO, and so you can read about these. Like you can easily find the document. Like if you type GP3, you will understand like what's the major difference. Basically, the difference will come in the IOPS, like the read and write. Okay, we will discuss all this in later on. Then come down, you can give how many instances you want and all those details you can give. And then once that is done, just click launch instance. If everything you have properly given, it will just start creating an instance. Okay. Okay. Now, if I just click on these instances here, see instance is getting created. This is the old one which I have terminated. If you see the status, now one which I'm creating is here, the pending one. Okay, it will take some time to spin up. So wait for some time. Now, what do you think? How I will connect to this machine? Like, do I have a screen or something, or will I be using some non-GUI mode? What do you think? Anyone?
Yeah, we'll be connecting through terminal.
Yes, exactly. So see, now I might be asking very basic questions, okay? Because here we have general audience, so it's for everyone. Like, so some questions you might feel very basic, but yeah, it's for everyone. So that I don't want to skip some questions, so that thinking that you know something, okay? So that's why I asked these questions. So yeah, so we will connect it through a terminal, okay? That's what we will do. So just copy this public IP here. Okay, so this public IP is there, right? Just copy that. There will be two IPs for every machine. Okay, one is the private IP and the public IP. Private IP is very private, as the name suggests. It is internal IP, we call it. So it is not accessible by every the external world. The external world can access only the public IP. Okay, so just copy that. I will just open Putty. Putty is one software. Okay, easily you can download. Even I will be providing it in the drive so you can use it. Now as soon as the putty opens in the session, no, here just put that host name, that the IP address, okay, which we have. Now go to this SSH here, go to auth credentials. Now here just browse that private key file which we downloaded. Now, as I said, this is like purely for your understanding. If you don't want to do a hands-on on the cloud also, it's okay, because now onwards, after this, you'll be purely on local machine only. So no worries. Okay, so once I choose the path of that key, just go back to session, the public IP I have pasted, and click on open. Okay, and just give accept. Here you enter Ubuntu. It's a standard login as Ubuntu. Okay, just give Ubuntu and give enter. So now you are inside that machine, okay, the terminal of that machine. But only thing is you don't have a screen. Everything you have to do using the command prompt. Like so like a Unix commands, okay, but very basic Unix command. So what I will do is I'll just do sudo minus I, so that I'm a root user, okay, just so that I have proper access and all. So now if you enter sudo minus I, you are a root user. So whatever now you do, you have root access. So you don't worry about access issues and all. Okay. So now what we will do is, uh, now we know how to create an instance. Anyone has any doubt related to this? Like how to create an instance, any part you didn't understand? Anything?
Yeah, so for connecting, you selected a file. No, is that the PEM file that you selected, or what was it file?
Yeah, it's a PPK file. Okay, so you can download two types of
PPK.
file. One is
Okay,
PEM
you
file.
can also convert, right? Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Uh, can you repeat like your question? So you asked whether it's a PPK file, right, or a PEM file?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, okay. Right, so once you connected, now what we will do is, now we have this instance, okay. Uh, Here, what we will do now next is we will try to just quickly, what we will do is we will try to configure our Gremlin agent onto this host. Okay, like very starting point of your, I will say, the journey where you have a host, you want to attack that host, and you are installing the agent onto it. Okay, so that's what we are going to see. So for that, first let's open Gremlin now. Let's keep this open. Okay, this is our terminal. So our machine part is done. So whatever Ubuntu machine you will have, now starting from here, the steps will be same. Okay, whether it's on cloud or on premise or anywhere. If it's an Ubuntu machine or a Windows machine, just the commands will change. That's all. But the things will remain same. Okay. Only the thing is, I wanted to give you an idea of cloud, like what's a cloud, how we do things. So that's why I was showing it on cloud. Okay. So let's come back to it. So this is an Ubuntu machine. I'm inside that machine. I have opened the terminal of that machine. Okay. Now I need to install the Gremlin agent onto this machine. So how do I do that? Okay. For that, let's log into Gremlin first. So you will all get the enterprise license of Gremlin. Okay, I will provide you the license. Just you can share your email IDs. Like once our final session start. Okay. So first I will log into Gremlin. So just to show you how we log in. So you land onto this page. Just go, if you go to this app.gremlin.com, you will land onto the page. Just put email and password, and you will you can just proceed to the next. Yeah, just to say one more thing, which is very critical to say. Now, see, whatever I'm creating here, I have to pay for it, okay, in AWS. So that's why I'm saying if you don't want to do hands-on, is also perfectly fine. In your projects, you can do, okay. Anyways, your project will be paying for that. So, so if you see my billing here, if I go to my billing. So without knowing, like, don't create anything. Like, if at all you are creating something, you can let me know, so I can say whether it is paid or not and all. Okay, because if you are creating a free trial account, also there are some limitations. Okay, which you cannot like, which you will be charged. Okay, so be careful with that. So if you see here, see now around, you can see in my billing, I will get like billed. For example, now let's say if I go to the let's say the elastic compute cloud, okay, and here if you see, if I scroll down, it's around, like, let's say it's being charged, okay, this month, whatever I'm using, like for example 240 hours, or like I'm using a T3 large for 240 hours, so it has charged on $21 with me. But what is happening is it is taking from my credits, okay. So what happens is we get some $5,000 credits, like from IIT Bombay. So I'm using that, so it's pretty free for me. But yeah, we get that credits from IIT Bombay, so we use that. But it's not available for everyone. So yeah, so what I wanted to call out is, like, make sure you know these things before creating an account and all, because you will get charged in your credit card. And yeah, so yeah, be clear about it, or you can contact me always in the WhatsApp. If you're doing anything, I can guide you. Anyways, coming back to Gremlin. Any questions, anyone, till now? Yeah. Okay. So coming back to Gremlin. So here, see now, what we are doing is a very basic level. We will install our agent on the on our AWS host. Okay, quickly. So we will go through all this in detail, but now we are doing it in quick sense. So first of all, as soon as you get into Gremlin dashboard, you will see this options to install Gremlin on different machines. Okay, though it's not very straightforward, you have to do tweaks to these, which we will understand. But for Ubuntu, it is very simple. You can just follow this procedure because it's a very simple machine. So just copy the first one where we are adding a Gremlin repository. Okay, just copy this, paste it in your terminal. Okay, I think it's, let me connect it again. Okay. So what we will do is, first of all, we will just copy this Gremlin repo. So as I said, whether you're in cloud or on-prem, it doesn't matter. From this step, it's all same. Okay.
Gremlin can install in local also.
You can, but we don't do that because you don't. You generally. So see, what we do in our when I say local machine is, we create one environment using a tool, using a software called Minikube, which we will understand, okay, as we progress. But what if you are doing it on a local machine, you will not have a static IP. Okay, so that problem you will face. So if you don't have a static IP, some attacks like latency attack, you won't be able to do. All other attacks you can do. Okay. If you have a static IP, then there is no problem. Okay, you can because generally people will not have in our homes, right? The static IP.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next is we will import one GPG key. GPG is nothing but a privacy guard key, we say, because now this Gremlin is communicating with our machine, right? So that communication channel should be secure. Okay, for that only this key is there. So just run this command for that. Okay, and whenever you're executing any command, okay, though it's like a very simple command, and it's Gremlin is saying us to execute it, just see the output also, okay, whether any error is you are getting or whether any warnings, because if you go to the next step ignoring that error, then coming back will be very difficult, like rolling back and all. Okay, so just read those messages, okay, before you go to next any other step. And last step is you are installing Gremlin client and daemon. Okay, right. So once you have done that, you need to check whether your whatever you have installed is properly done or not. So for that, you enter Gremlin check. That's a command for that. Gremlin check. Okay. So automatically it will print out all the details related to your Gremlin. Okay. So here mainly you want to check two things. Okay. One is this one, which is the down the version, properly the version should be printed out, so that means your Gremlin agent has been installed properly. The other thing is, if you scroll up, there is one auth part. Okay, here if you see, now currently it is saying no valid auth found, because the reason is we haven't initialized that agent. Okay, now the agent installation is done, but we haven't connected our account, our Gremlin account, with this host. Okay, that we need to do. Then only this authorization will be proper. Okay, so that's what we are going to do next. So for that, we need to initialize Gremlin. Okay, so let's go back to Gremlin. So if I go click on experiments here, and if I click on new experiment, now if you observe here, currently the host section is showing 0. Okay, it's 0 available. Okay, so now what I will do is I will initialize Gremlin here. Gremlin init. So it will ask for two parameters. Okay, one is your team ID and your team secret. So team ID, you can get it from here. Just go to this icon here, go to team settings, go to configuration, and you can easily get your team ID here. Okay, but the secret key can be created only by the main admin. Okay, so that will be provided to you by for example, I will provide it to you, so you will be able to use it. Okay, so let me pick it from our files, just a second. Right, so we are using this team, so I will use this team ID, copy this, paste it. Next, it will ask for the team secret. So similarly, just copy this and paste it. Now the team secret will not be visible to you. Okay, so properly paste it only once. Otherwise, it will throw the error. Okay, so now you see using for Gremlin identifier, and it's generating the team ID also. Now if I do Gremlin check again, and if I go scroll up to the auth, so what are you seeing now? Are you seeing anything different here now? Everyone, anyone? Any difference you are seeing from before initialization now?
The value is converted to secret
Yeah,
and there is an
exactly.
okay.
Correct. So the API response you are seeing okay, and you are getting the bearer token and all those, right? And same thing you will be able to observe in your Gremlin also. If I go to experiments, I click on experiments, new experiment. See, are you seeing host now one available? Everyone able to see, right? Which was zero
Yes,
initially. Now it is one available. Same you can see if you click on agents here. See, you can see the active agent. Now this number here, you have seen it somewhere. What is this number?
the
What do you
public
think?
IP address,
Pretty close. It is a private IP. Okay.
private
So because
IP.
yeah, it's a private IP. Okay. And now, so now our machine is properly configured. Okay. Like the host is properly configured, the agent. Now what I can do is I can check quickly, run a sanity attack. Okay. Like a smoke attack. Like I can see whether my Gremlin is able to attack also, right? So just click on new experiment. So to start an attack quickly. Anyways, all these things I'll be going in very detail. Now this we are seeing just like a quick session. Okay. So host, I will choose one. Anyways, there's only one host. I'll just select target all hosts. Automatically the host will be selected with that private IP. If I scroll down, next is I need to choose a gremlin. So more so when I say choose a gremlin, it is basically choose an attack. Okay. So choose a gremlin. Let's say I choose a resource attack. Okay, there are different attacks. We will go through all this. Okay, in our course. Just choose resource attack, and here what I will do is I'll just choose CPU. Okay, length is how long you are running the attack. CPU capacity, let's say I make it 50, which is a 50%. I will make it all cores, and what I will do is I will run the experiment to see whether the configuration was proper or not. So if any problem is there in the configuration, it will throw an error now. Okay. So it's slowly starting. Okay. Currently it's in the pending stage. It will go to the start running state. Okay. Right. So you can see the output log also where you can see how many like whether it's running or not. Now if I want to see whether the attack is running, what I will do is I'll enter htop here. Htop. Okay. To see like what's the CPU utilization. What are you seeing the CPU percentage now? Everyone? How much is it showing? It's visible, right? Like what's the percentage it is showing?
50%.
And if you see the
Somewhere.
total is 100, right? Why it's showing 100? Because our machine is 2 core, right? I chose all core, so it is attacking every core 50%. So it is showing 100 here, but 50-50, right? See here. You can see the process also. It is a Gremlin attack. Now, if you see why it went down to 0,
Time is over.
We ran it
yes,
only for
exactly.
60 seconds.
Exactly. So we chose only 60 seconds, right? So the attack was done and it was successful. Automatically after that, the Gremlin has rolled back everything. So why Gremlin is useful, or we can say why it is very reliable is, first of all, it will run the attack. Okay, so let's say many other tools can do that. But reliably, what Gremlin will do is it will also roll back everything what it has used to run that experiment. So it will not leave anything behind. Because that is also very important. Okay, for the tool. Like let's say you're running some attack, and if that tool keeps your system in that state itself, then it's a problematic. Now, obviously, if there is a reliability issue in your application, it's a different case. But the tool should not keep it hanging, right? In that, so automatically you can see the system has come back to normal, which it was before. Okay, after
Okay.
the attack has.
Um, so I have a question. So now you ran it for 60 seconds for 50%.
Mhm.
So this scenario can be used to test whether this Kubernetes auto replica, like based on the memory utilization, whether it is scaling the new pods or not. Those kind of scenario, this can be performed to test it, right?
Exactly. Very good question, and good application also, because in the auto scaling, what we do is exactly the resource exhaustion experiments only. So what we do
Okay.
is, as you correctly pointed out, we run these attacks to find out whether the scaling is happening or not, if the pod allocations are happening or not, pod creations, pod deletions, all this we can test using this such scenarios. Okay, but here we are doing it for the host, But in that case, you will have to set it up for the Kubernetes, which we will see in the upcoming sessions.
So
Okay.
another question, follow-up question.
Mhm.
Now you
Yeah.
did this one. So there is also another set of testing which we do based on the number of users. So whether Gremlin can help us with the number of users, kind of pseudo users for testing.
So see, now here here we are not generating any traffic. Okay, traffic has to be generated from Jmeter or some other tool. If so, what we have no, like for example, if you have a use case where specifically you need traffic also. There are use cases which we will discuss. In that cases, you need to integrate Gremlin with, like, let's say Jmeter or LoadRunner, which we will see with Jmeter
We
how
will
you
we will
integrate.
integrate that scenario as well as part of this course.
Yes, yes, yes. We have a
Okay.
small session of around 45 minutes or half an hour where we
Okay, at
integrate
least
JMeter.
introduction to that kind of scenario can help. We can develop further.
Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah. Yes, yes, we have that.
Okay.
Okay. We have a JMeter small session. Yeah, go ahead.
So Gremlin is a monitoring tool, right? A monitoring and I mean accessible for resource.
No, no, no. See, Gremlin is not a monitoring tool, it's a chaos tool. Okay. You have different types of attacks or chaos attacks in Gremlin, which you can generate using Gremlin. So it's not a monitoring tool. Monitoring is a different thing, which we have tools like Grafana. We will see, right, in our course. We will see Grafana. But Gremlin is more sort of a chaos tool to create the chaos.
Okay. And is
Okay.
it an
So for
open? Is
example,
it open
so
source
for
or
example, yeah,
sure, sir.
go ahead, go ahead.
Carry on. Is
Yeah,
it
so
a
for
open
example
source or
now, let's say you want to create attacks like process killer or shutdown or time travel, or in network if you want to create an attack like black hole, certificate expiry, a DNS attack, a latency attack, packet loss attack. So all these attacks and with different like options, you can use Gremlin, okay, to create that attacks
okay?
in
Is
one
it
go.
open
Now,
source?
if you can do all this by writing a script also, but the problem is it will take long years, okay, to create scripts for all these attacks. Okay,
Okay.
so yeah.
It's a open source or paid one?
Yeah, Gremlin is a paid one. Open source, we will see one tool called Chaos Mesh, which is an open source tool. That also we will be covering in this course. Okay, so one open source, one paid, and with this you can learn other tools also very easily because the terminologies are pretty much repeating. Okay, like the attacks and all. So just only the agent installation or the initial installation might change with respect to the tool, but other things will be pretty much same. Okay, so if you learn two tools, you can learn all other tools. So won't be a very big deal. And we will discuss this also, like why we have chosen Chaos Mesh and Gremlin compared to other tools. Okay, what is the reason? We have a specific session for that. Any other questions, anyone?
Vishnu, I have a doubt. It must be very
Yeah.
basic, but I just wanted to know what is agent here? Um, it's an attacker or like
Yeah,
what
yeah.
is
So
it actually?
yeah, that's fine. Yes, so see, agent is nothing but you can say it like a process which is running in our system. Okay, so that process is what is like due to that service only this Gremlin is able to attack, right? This host. It's like we are creating we are okay. You can consider it like you are installing a software. Okay, the agent means okay,
Okay,
but it is
okay, so
always running.
it's
Mhm.
okay,
Yeah.
and Gremlin is attacking on that agent. Is that so?
No, 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 no. Gremlin is attacking your host, your machine. So this CPU and all is your machine, right? On which,
Yes.
yeah, you're getting my point. So see, now let's consider it like this agent can do different things in your machine, okay? Only with the infrastructure, only with the hardware, nothing with the software and all. It can do different things with the hardware, like increasing the CPU, increasing the RAM and all. So to do that, we are installing that agent on this host and we are controlling
Okay,
it using this application here.
understood. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any other
Uh,
questions, anyone?
so, so if we want to simulate a DDoS attack or anything,
Mhm. Yeah.
So this agent will be able, we will be able to customize the rule. For example, we will be able to run only these kind of chaos testing, or is there anything that can be customized?
So see, customization, as it's like it's more sort of like a LoadRunner and Jmeter comparison. In Jmeter, you can do lot of customization, but LoadRunner there is a limitation because it's a paid tool, right? Similar is the case with Gremlin and Jmeter, but sorry, Gremlin and Chaos Mesh. Now, but the
Mm-hmm.
main thing what I want to point out here with my experience is that with the attacks which Gremlin is providing, it is pretty much it covers 99 percentage of what we do. Like if at all 1% very rarely, but I have never encountered that because such a scenario, because you will whatever scenarios we are encountering, the problems we are encountering in production, right? This Gremlin team has analyzed that and all and choose like very much they have chosen these 12 attacks for that reason only. Okay, and they are keeping on adding also as per the market trend. Okay, but this will be more than enough, I will say.
But
Okay.
do you see this Gremlin used in enterprise level? And
Yeah,
how much is the cost? Do
we
you
are
have?
exactly, yeah. Nowadays, many, right? For example, I don't want to call out the names, but like let's say big banks or even fast food chain. I have one customer, one client, very big. Okay, they are into, and even my current, yeah, they are doing. Yes, yes,
Okay, okay.
yes.
Because the only thing is like if we are learning and if we are proposing this to
Mhm.
companies, I just
Yeah.
wanted to know the enterprise level adoption of this Gremlin.
It is. Even big companies like, sorry, I'm not able to call out the names, but I am doing it frequently. Okay, so I know that. Even implementation, I'm helping. So it's happening. And also, the main only constraint comes there is the budget. Okay, because it's more sort of like LoadRunner JMeter story. So if you want to adopt LoadRunner, obviously you have to bring the client on board for the extra dollars which you need to pay. But if LoadRunner is being used in the market, similar is the case with Gremlin. Gremlin is also being used properly. And if you say like the market share, I will say places where this chaos engineering is happening, 60 to 70% is Gremlin.
Okay,
Okay, so
got it.
it's pretty big. Yeah. Yeah.
And it also takes care of DB, any scenario we will cover during
Yes,
our
yes.
training.
Yeah, we have a Redis, yeah, we have an experiment on that. So that time it will be clear for you.
Okay.
Any other questions, anyone? So yeah, so we are pretty much covering most of the scenarios which I came across in my experience, and also like what I can even imagine of. I'm trying to inculcate those so that you get the like for example, like by just saying black hole attack, you might not understand what's a black hole, right? So you get a clear understanding when we do it, and like we try to say, okay, black hole attack is for such services. You and when you read an architecture, okay. What all components you need to group into black hole, what all components you need to group into latency attacks. So yeah, so such things we will discuss. Okay. Yeah, so just wanted to show you some so that you get a feel of what we generally do. Now, we go ahead with like for example, now we did with only host, how you set it up for containers, how you set it up for Kubernetes, then how you run different attacks on Kubernetes machines or hosts. So those things are what we will see in the upcoming sessions. Even cloud, little bit more on cloud and other like Kubernetes, we will see very much because Kubernetes is a requirement nowadays, right? So we will see a lot of things like pods, what are containers, what are services, what are so all these things you'll understand, and everything with zero knowledge you can understand. Like there is no prerequisite that you need to know something. So I have modeled this course in such a way that you just if you know a little bit of even the software industry, that is enough. Okay. Even testing domain also you don't know, that is also not a problem. Only thing is you should not be like from scratch. Okay, like you don't know what is software. Like at least you should know that. That's enough. And obviously, what there is scripting wise, very like you only the commands. Like as I said, whatever I'll be using, I'll be giving you. Like all small commands like this stop sudo minus I and all this you can find in my documents also. Properly I have documented all those what I'm using. Okay, So you don't need to refer any outside material and all. You will have everything here. And also you will get the software. Also, software is also what I'm using in that drive itself. So you don't need to go anywhere else. Everything in the drive. Okay, so even I keep updating it with some materials like which I find online, like some good research materials or some good papers or good webinars. Okay, so those also you can read. Like it will give you more idea on what is happening, especially like in the chaos industry. Okay,
Okay. Because
yeah.
I heard about this Netflix Chaos Monkey some six, 7 years back. But
Yeah.
after that, I did not see any public training or any discussion or certification on that. But when I
Hmm.
saw this first time, this particular training, I was a bit interested to understand what's happening.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, correctly pointed out, Muthu. So by the end of this course, we will also complete that Gremlin certification so that properly you can put in your resume something to showcase that this skill you have. And
Yeah.
also to crack the interview, obviously this course will help you because you learn a lot from the course. Because just by putting the certificate, you cannot crack the interview. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So why I said interview is just if you're looking, but even in the organization, if you have to grow also, it will help. Okay.
Since you are into this, I'm just asking with my
Yeah,
curiosity. Netflix made this Chaos Monkey public, right? But do you
yeah.
see companies are adopting it?
Chaos Monkey is very primitive. See, Chaos Monkey is only like, for example, we use Chaos Monkey only to create some frameworks. Frameworks means
Mhm.
like over that we built something. Okay.
Okay.
But if you see a Chaos Monkey as a in the market, it's like almost nil because Chaos
Okay.
Monkey can only provide you one attack. Okay.
Okay.
With that, you cannot live with. Right? So that's the thing. Now you, if you want to go ahead, you have to install Chaos Gorilla, Chaos Kong. So it's pretty much similar to like installing one software. Why to go with so many, right? Then
Okay.
managing and all is a problem. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because lot of very mature tools have come up. Only thing is the community is small, so many people like if let's say you face some issue, you don't have a person to go to. Okay, it's like who can solve that problem. Only that you might face with chaos other tools like Gremlin. Anyways, you don't have that issue also because it's a paid. You have a support for that. Okay.
Yeah.
So, any other questions, anyone?
Vishnu, can you help me one example how it will replicate in production?
Yeah, so
I
see, as I
mean,
said, if I remember yesterday, I called this out. See, production you will do. So this we will discuss the process, how it happens. But in production, if I say out of 100 use cases, only two use cases or three use cases you will run in production, and there is a process for that also. Okay, how you will run in production. So when we speak about, so where are these other 97 run, right? It's run
mm,
in the lower environments, not in the production. And you choose the environment based on the use case, what you're testing, not that you will test it only on perf environment or test environment or pre-prod, right? um, but you will test it based on the use case what you have, which we will discuss. Okay, how you choose and what are the reasons and all those stuff.
okay,
Right? Yeah, so no worries that you will have to run in production. I will say 90% of the people whom who I come across, they don't run in production at all. Okay, but still they are doing chaos engineering with the lower environments. They're fixing the issues and pushing it into production, though they're not testing it in production. Okay, so there is a way to do that.
thanks.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Vishnu, one question.
Yeah, Pravesh.
Like means we did this attack on compute. Okay,
Yeah.
and the CPU is saturated is 100%. Then
Hmm.
what is the next step?
So see, now here the step is not about you are attacking it. You have to observe your system, right? That's what we will see. How you observe the system, what you will observe, what all you need to observe. Okay, these are the questions. And the metrics,
Hmm.
what you need to observe. Like for example, though we have not gone to Kubernetes, why I say Kubernetes word again and again is that's where the main problem lies. Okay, in chaos engineering, that's where a lot of problems you will be able to discover. Okay, so that's why I call this out word Kubernetes again. So especially in pod scheduling. So even if someone like we will see all this, I don't want to jump into those words now, but to call out that example. So you will see a lot of issues being uncovered, even latency. Like for example, when you add latency, you will see a lot of microservices crashing. Okay. Now, generally the crashes happen because you will understand that. Okay, like latency will indirectly affect the memory also. Okay, so due to that you will have a cascading error. So a lot of things like that. So you observe those things, right? You observe the system, how the system is responding, and we will clearly understand what is chaos engineering, right? Chaos engineering is not about whether your system will not fail and all. Okay, there's a clear objective behind chaos engineering, and the clear objective is, so that's what we will see next. So see, for example, now you everyone would have got this doubt, what is the difference between failover and chaos? Anyone got this doubt? Like anyone heard about failover before? Failover testing,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
So yeah. Yeah.
failover testing is like we deliberately will take a system down and we'll reboot it, and by that
Exactly.
time we'll just look into it, what is the chaos it created during that time.
Okay, I will not
Also
say
for
in that way. Yeah, but
DR
I will say
testing,
whether your
for DR
system is
testing,
withstanding, okay, withstanding
More
any
than
failure.
chaos, as you yeah, more than any chaos, I can just say that what is the impact it caused
Yes,
is
exactly.
just a
So
testing
whatever
it.
happens, my system should be online. Okay. So that's what generally failover testing more about. Like, or we can say disaster testing or failover testing, what we do. Now, but in chaos engineering, the major difference here is we never say that my system will not fail. I will never say that my system will not fail. System will fail. Okay. There is no calling out that system will not fail, but my system will recover very fast. So in
Mhm.
chaos engineering, we are more focused on the recovery. So that's the main keyword, okay, which everyone miss in chaos engineering. So we are mainly focused on the recovery and the user experience, UE, we can say. Okay, like how my end user is experiencing that failure. Okay, to reduce the impact of that. So these are the two things which we focus on chaos engineering: the recovery and user experience, which we will discuss in very detail in the next sessions. Just I wanted to call it out because many have this doubt, right? If you want to put chaos engineering, so the recovery is a very important parameter in chaos engineering, and whatever experiments, whatever attacks you do, always everything breaks down or boils down to improving this recovery time. Like if the recovery time is 5 minutes, you want to bring it down to 1 minute or half minute. Okay, so you will see that like everywhere it is happening, that's what is happening. Okay, so recovery and user experience also, we will discuss how this user experience, how chaos engineering helps in improving the user experience. That also we will see. Okay.
So
Yeah.
Vishnu, is that like in when we do a chaos testing plan or something, what is the
Mhm.
source of truth? For example, when we do security testing or anything, we
Mhm.
will create a threat model, and on that we will analyze which is the threat and everything. But when it comes to
Mhm.
chaos, it is touching everything, like chaos, I mean to say security, some part on the and the performance and the user experience. I mean, it is touching all these three triangle.
Mhm.
In those cases, how we plan the chaos engineering test?
Yes, yes, yes. So that's a very good question. Okay, you might get like your question is you might get confused to where to start off with since it's a open end. Okay, but it's not open end. We will clearly understand that once we go to the next sections, which are principles of chaos and all in that section. But anyways, to quickly answer that question, like for example, uh, so see now when you have a system, when you are doing chaos engineering, there is a process behind it. Okay, like how you do it. So for example, now if I have like 10 microservices, I don't go and attack all 10 microservices. I just select one out of that. I make it reliable, or I will not use the word reliable, but I will do chaos engineering on that one microservice and make it totally reliable and then resilient and then move on to the next one. Right? In that way I go. So when I isolate things, that open end question goes off. Okay, because we have a process in deciding the use cases. Okay, so that we will discuss what is that process, how we do that, and then what are the metrics you will look into. So in that way you will have a clear understanding where to start, where to stop with, and all those stuff. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Got it.
Yeah, okay. I think we are already 5 minutes ahead of time. Any other quick question? I can take one, or else we can continue tomorrow.
What are the other equivalent tools to this Gremlin, the open source tools, Vishnu?
Equivalency, the thing is in open source, Chaos Toolkit and Chaos Blade are a good tool, but Chaos Blade, the problem is it's in Chinese, so the documentation, everything is in Chinese, and Chaos Toolkit is little Python heavy, so you need to know Python a bit. So yeah, I will say the with the usage wise and the freedom which Gremlin gives, no other open source tool is giving. But yeah, you can go with Chaos Toolkit or these things, but Chaos Mesh, why I am not calling out as an equivalent to Gremlin is because Chaos Mesh is little dependent on the Kubernetes. Okay, so you need to have a Kubernetes environment, Litmus Chaos, and Chaos Mesh. But if that limitation you remove, Chaos Mesh is a very good tool. Okay, compared to Gremlin, when we compare, like it's with an open source also, it's a good tool.
So are you going to show that chaos mesh also in our course?
Yes, yes, we are covering Chaos Mesh. Yes,
Okay.
yeah. Right. So if any questions, you can always WhatsApp me. If any doubts, any related to problems, or any queries related to time and all, I'm ready to help. And as I said, prerequisite wise, there is not much of a prerequisite. No need to worry about hearing all these terminologies like Kubernetes, Docker, container, and all. Because all these things, once you leave the course, it will be like a simple thing, piece of cake for you. You will learn all this in the course. So there is no prerequisite as such. So yeah, so no worries about even coding also. No need to worry about coding. Like there's no, it's mainly designed for testers only, right? So you don't have a lot of scripting or coding in this, and as a chaos engineer also, you are not expected to code something. Okay, so no worries. Right, yeah. So if no more question, let's stop it here for today and let's continue tomorrow. Thank you all for joining. Have a good day.
Thank you.